What is up, my Squirtleites? It is I, your king, welcoming you back to more Let's Play Destiny. In the last episode, we made it through 2 platforming challenges here in the Shattered Throne. In this episode, we got a boss to fight. We actually got a couple bosses to fight, and I hope you're looking forward to it. But the first of these, this is what makes this so interesting. The first of these, here in Eleusinia, the Keeper of Petitions, is actually the harder of the 2. Let me explain. So, let's jump on down so I can explain these mechanics. Make sure you have a void weapon when you jump down here. You want one really, really badly. Alright, so this big guy in the middle is named Vorgeth. He is the Boundless Hunger, and he is going to be relentlessly shooting at you all throughout this entire encounter. Here's how this works. You are going to have wizards spawn on basically each section of the room, the north, south, east, and west sides of the room. They are going to be accompanied by a couple of vandals and some goblins that are going to be able to make them immune. What you want to do is you want to kill each of these wizards, but you don't want to kill them too quickly. Or sorry, you don't want to kill them too quickly. Sorry, you don't want to kill them too slowly, I should say. Why is this? Well, as we do damage to them, once you kill a wizard, it is going to drop something. I'm going to show you what this is. That right there, that little ball that it just dropped, I picked up, is called a Petitioner's Mark. You see that timer next to Petitioner's Mark? When that counts down all the way, I die. So I need to be able to gather all of these Petitioner's Marks and dunk them before the timer counts down and kills me, all while I'm dealing with Vorgeth shooting at me. The good news is that once you collect a new one, the timer resets. That's the good part. The bad part is you are going to be constantly maneuvering around the room, dealing with all of these ads, dealing with Vorgeth shooting at you, while you try to collect as many of these as you can. There are places to stand outside of his line of sight, and I am kind of playing with that right now. You see this pillar kind of protected me. So I'm going to head on over here, grab the next one, the next mark, and now we are at ×3. We need ×4 before we can start dealing damage to the guy. So I'm going to shoot these goblins and vandals. Those are going to heal me up good. And I'm going to basically just exclusively use the shotgun on the wizards as I go, but I don't want to have to do it too much. So let's kill them. There we go. Grab those. And now, see this right here. There are 4 of these around the room. We want to extinguish this, quote-unquote, and as soon as we do that, first thing he's going to do is let out a bunch of these Seekers. Hit them first because they will do a lot of damage. Now, we can start hurting him. So I'm going to throw my super first, and I'm going to use my linear fusion as much as I can here, but I'm going to still have to deal with these, so kill them as quickly as you can. Keep hurting them. We've already done quite a bit of damage because that super is ridiculously powerful. Almost got him. Maybe. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get him in time. Yep, okay, so his shield is back up. So now we have to rinse and repeat. Almost got him. Unfortunately, wasn't quite enough. If I had had Feast of Light ×4, he probably would have been dead. Now, let's keep going, and I'm going to try to get some more siphons going. I'm actually going to get Combination Blow going on this go-around because that is actually going to really help me stay alive for this part. But let me kill you with that. And we're just going to use Combination Blow for the rest of this because that'll actually make my job a lot easier. 1, I'll be amplified, and 2, I'll be able to pretty much one-shot everything with my melee, and while also staying consistently topped off. So let me just do that again and again. This is probably the easiest strategy for doing this entire thing without dying, if you so desire. If you want to make it even easier, grab Liar's Handshake, which is actually a exotic that I will be getting into a little bit later on. Do keep in mind, though, Vorgeth can still absolutely push you away if you're not careful here. So let's do that. I've basically got a super now. I was going to try to get more orbs of power, but I don't really think I need them. We're so close to this anyway. All right, let's keep going. He is surprisingly accurate, but also not as accurate as you think, so just be vigilant in trying to stay out of his line of sight, and you should be good. There we go. That should take care of them. We now have Petitioner's Burden. Let's go and extinguish the next one, which is on this side. So let me dunk that really quickly, and kill him. And there we go. And that is the encounter. I get myself a retold tale from my troubles, the best weapon in the entire Dreaming City. And Vorgeth is down. That might have seemed really easy, and it is. It is really easy in 2023. But back then, Vorgeth tended to be the skill gap, the skill stopper for most people who wanted to solo this dungeon. I know I struggled on him quite a bit myself when I was first learning to solo this, when Forsaken was actually still relevant. He was pretty hard because if you didn't have something that could absolutely nuke enemies, like which you didn't back then, really, it was pretty tough running around trying to make sure that you killed all the wizards, not having all that automatic healing and the like. Yeah, so you need to be very vigilant, very quick on the draw, and just be patient. Be patient, but also be fast. All right.
My strength is with you, hero.
This lady right here. This lady is Hyur Ido, who is one of the most important Awoken within the lore that we'll never really get to meet in-game outside of this one instance. Now, there is an exotic that is tied to this dungeon that requires you to dunk 3 charged orbs. There is one in the Labyrinth encounter, one in the Descent encounter, that ties into the Thrallway, and a final one in this encounter with Vorgeth. Once you have dunked all 3, she will gift you with a bow that she usually holds in her hands, but I already have, known as, and I'm actually going to pull this out of my inventory, or out of my vault while I talk about it. This bow is known as Wish Ender. Wish Ender is a very special sort of bow that has an incredibly long draw time, but hits very, very hard. It allows you to, I'm going to actually switch to it to demonstrate here. What it allows you to do is it allows you to actually see enemies through walls by drawing it, although there's no enemies to see at the moment. And you can basically hold this almost indefinitely, and it pierces through shields. It's just a really strong, hard-hitting bow that allows you to see through walls. Pretty self-explanatory. I'm not going to be able to show the Wish Ender quest on screen, at least not right now. Because I already have it on this character, obviously. If I wanted to show it, I'd probably have to do it on the Let's Play account, which means I'd probably need to beat the dungeon again. And I honestly don't exactly know how that's going to go down. So, this is pretty much the special weapon of the dungeon, so I think it would be worth trying to show off, but it is a little bit complicated going over all of the steps. Maybe someday down the road I will make a video dedicated on how to get it, but I don't really want to spend too much time in this Let's Play covering guides for like exotic quests and stuff like that. I'd rather leave that to the dedicated Destiny YouTubers more than anything. This Let's Play is meant to be basically a chronological follow-through of everything you can do in Destiny that is worth doing. All of the content, essentially. I want to show what activities you can play, why this game is worth the money that it costs, how you're going to get your whatever many dollars you spend on it, and all that value out of it. That's really what the point of this Let's Play is. It's not meant to give you guides on all of the complicated stuff. I'm not here doing that. I'm not that kind of YouTuber. I am just a Let's Player, and therefore I just want to show this game in chronological order for the hundreds and hundreds of episodes that it is, and show you why I think it's worth playing and what's worth playing in it. All right, so this is one last platforming challenge, relative platforming challenge combined with Compat that we're going to be going through before we get to the final boss. But I will spoil things right now. We are only going to be using Le Monarque for this part, not for the final encounter. So if you're worried about the fact that I have been using this thing religiously through this entire dungeon, don't worry. I am going to be switching off for the final encounter because there is a weapon that is perfectly suited for that encounter that I cannot recommend enough that you use, that almost everybody in the game has access to. So be very careful when going through this spot. There's a lot of places to fall here. It is pretty precarious. I don't think there's any enemies in this part, but you want to head on over here, and as soon as you jump down, you are going to be entangled with a captain. You want to kill him as fast as you can. They are dropping lots of heavy. This captain will constantly hide from you, so you can try to pick him off from here. It's really hard to hit his foot. And I suppose you can do it. Try to dodge over his blights that he shoots out. There's a third captain here. Or I guess a fourth captain, excuse me. You know what? I'm just going to chuck a grenade in with you guys. Get out of here. All right, now as we head up in here, there's a bunch of vandals. Most of these aren't sniper vandals, though, which means they're not so bad to deal with. I am just going to probably combination... Well, if you're all going to walk backwards up the stairs, then so be it, I suppose. Kill all of them. Oh, you suck. Don't walk out of your shield. Get out of here. All right, more enemies just spawned above us, so we're going to take the elevator up. Make sure my Wastelander is fully primed. Okay, we have another captain waiting for us the second we spawn. Kill him if you can. This one I would advise shooting at a distance. And let's continue. There's more captains along the way. Throw another blight at me. I tried to go over that, but it didn't work out so well. There we go. All right, we're almost through. Got, I believe, a set of stairs to go up next. Yep, and this one's got a bunch more Shadow Thrall in it. They're just going to spawn endlessly in here. This is actually a really good place to farm things like catalysts and the like if you need to get a lot of kills, because everything in here is made out of tissue paper, and they're very easy to kill, and they will spawn continuously until you jump down here, and then they will, for the most part, stop spawning. They also won't chase you down here as well. So make sure you kill all these phalanxes. They are absolutely here just to knock you off the cliff. Bunch of booby traps, a lot of them. And once you do that, head on over this way. And this right here is basically the run ender, if you're not careful. So I'm actually going to switch to Stompies for just a moment here while I head through here. This place can absolutely kill you with all of these walls that are here specifically to boop you off. So do keep that in mind. Is that going to come to me? Yes, it is. All right, I'm going to let my health actually come back before I go. So you can try to time this right, but it is also a little bit of dumb luck because of how frequently these are going to go off. Ooh, be careful. Don't take jumps you don't need to take. Try to jump over the little explosions when you see them coming. There we go. Okay. Don't go to that one yet. Almost there, almost there. And there we go. All right. Wanted to bring Stompies just in case, because I didn't know if that was actually going to turn out badly for me or not. And back to Star Eaters we go. All right. Now we just need to ascend to the final encounter. And I said before that this is actually the easier of the two encounters, boss encounters. And I'll explain why. Now, actually, in this day, maybe that's a little untrue. I think nowadays you could actually argue that this has gotten easier than Vorgeth just due to the nature of how the game works. Or this one's gotten harder than Vorgeth, excuse me. But I would still classify this one as pretty darn easy. It's more just about paying attention. So, remember in the Ascendant challenges, we were talking about Priests of Inkaru. Well, that is Dol Inkaru right there. And you remember these guys, these Abyssal Champions from before? Well, they're back, and they're here with a vengeance. Let's explain how this fight works. So, once you get in here, Scions are going to spawn on either side of the map, which are going to be shooting out Arc Energy. Dol Inkaru herself is also going to shoot out Arc Energy. I specifically have Risk Runner because it gets empowered by Arc Energy. On top of that, it also makes you more immune to Arc Energy, more resistant to Arc Energy. So with all these things shooting Arc at me, I have a very easy way of chaining lots of Arc damage and killing a lot of enemies. The one exception, however, is these three knights right here. So remember the little balls that the wizards dropped in the Vorgeth fight. These three guys have the exact same thing, and we need those orbs to damage Dol Inkaru. Now, you can damage her with only one orb intact, but that's going to give you the least amount of damage to do. You want all three to do maximum damage, and when I say maximum damage, I mean you can kill Dol Inkaru with like 5 sniper shots and she's dead, as long as you have ×3. But the problem is that these knights, when they die, they need to die very close together, otherwise the orbs will despawn and your timer will go away. Because when you pick up the orbs this time, the timer doesn't reset. It actually just counts down from when you first pick the first one up. If you don't, I mean, once you have got that timer going, it will go all the way down to 0 and kill you. But the thing is that you don't extinguish this this particular timer. There is a pool of light that will spawn on a table that these three knights are currently surrounding. You need to step into that before the timer goes down to get rid of it. Does that make sense? Let me demonstrate. So let's begin. I'm going to do a little bit of damage here. And you also want to be careful because these guys will be slow until they are down to 1/3 of their health, at which point they will lose their helmets and they will start to chase you a lot more aggressively. So I'm going to use Risk Runner specifically for this. as I have the arc resistance, and I'm going to chain a bunch of lightning between them. They actually don't have all that much health, which is good. So keep that to use that to your advantage. Now, every so often, they are going to despawn and kind of run away, so just kind of wait for them to come back. So this one's back. I'm going to hit him first, and I'm going to get him low so that his helmet is gone, and then I'm going to do the same thing to his buddy. Kind of one at a time here. Okay, we've almost got them all. I got to get your helmet off. There it goes. Okay, so it's actually more like a sixth of their health. So we still got one left. He's going to chase me down. All right, we've almost got it. Let's get this guy next. And these guys hurt when they hit you, so make sure that you kite them around the arena and don't let them hit you. But now that we've got them all pretty low, we can start doing damage to them once we have them all gathered together. So I'm going to wait for them to respawn. Okay. Oh, and hold on. They are immune. Okay, so this is where things get a little bit tricky, because every once in a while, she's going to make them immune. See that crystal in the back? You need to take that crystal out as fast as you can. And it is not an insignificant crystal. It actually requires quite a lot of damage to do so. You can run behind her to do additional damage and also to protect yourself from her attacks. Now, we can start doing damage to these guys. But once the crystal's down, the scions respawn, which means that you got to take them out again. Okay, keep moving, keep moving. Luckily, the actual arc damage from the knights themselves also is pretty easy to resist as long as you have Arc Conductor active. I am going to use this to heal, and then again to kill all of them. There we go. All right, now I'm going to use Combination Blow to start killing these guys one at a time. 1, 2. Where is the third? There he is. Kill him. All right, now we have ×3 Finite Thought. We have 38 seconds. Here we go. So let's start dealing as much damage as we can to Dolinkaru. I am going to hide a little bit because she can still hurt me while I am doing this. Keep hitting her. And almost got her. Oh, we're so close. We still got 20 seconds, so we should be fine. It's a lot of time to do damage. But do keep in mind, if she spawns the crystal, you'll have to kill that before she goes away. Also, that was quite the spin. And there we go. That is it. That is the final boss of the Shattered Throne. We were able to complete that flawlessly without a single death the entire run. Like I said, when Finite Thought runs out, step in this pool, and you have to start the whole thing over again. The knights will respawn. You have to start whittling them down, killing the scions, etc. Just rinse and repeat until Dolinkaru is dead. But that's why you want to grab the ×3 finite buff, because then you're able to do that much damage to her. It's actually insane. All right, that's it. Guys, thank you all so much for watching this episode. I hope you all enjoyed it very much. Next time, we have one last Forsaken piece of content left to do. It actually has nothing to do with the Dreaming City or anything along those lines. It's accessible from the Dreaming City part of the director, but it's kind of its own thing. I'm pretty excited to show it. It's a bit of nostalgia for Destiny 1 that we're going to show. Just a nice little strike before we call the entire Forsaken section of this Let's Play quits. But after that comes the Shadowkeep campaign. So guys, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.